All right, so today on The Explainer, we're going to dig into the mind of Elon Musk, not just his companies, but the actual fundamental philosophy that drives everything he does. I mean, we're talking about a worldview that connects the dots between his vision for X and these wild predictions he makes about the end of work. Okay, so let's just jump right in with this quote. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But Elon Musk, he actually believes this is right around the corner. And just to be clear, he's not talking about a 4-day work week or anything like that. No, he's talking about a future where having a job is basically just a hobby. So how do you even get to a prediction that radical? Well, to really get it, you got to go way deeper than just business plans and product roadmaps. You have to get into the core philosophy that's driving the whole thing. And believe it or not, this whole grand vision, it all starts with one single fundamental question that Musk was wrestling with when he was just a teenager. Yeah, he was seriously grappling with this. He even talks about having an existential crisis around age 12 or 13. But his search for answers didn't lead him to religion. It actually led him to a pretty surprising source of inspiration. That source was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I know, right? But he didn't see it as just a comedy. He saw it as a book on philosophy. See, in the story, this giant supercomputer spits out the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And the answer is 42. The only problem? Nobody knows what the actual question is. And for Musk, that was a light bulb moment. It led him to this key insight: the universe is the answer. Our job, as humanity, is to figure out what the right questions are to ask about it. So that brings us to his core mission. And really, it's not just about building cool companies. It's about expanding consciousness itself. The way he sees it, think about it. One person can't build a spaceship, right? But a whole bunch of humans working together, they absolutely can, especially when information flows freely between them. The more connected we are, the smarter and more capable the collective becomes. And this philosophy, it directly explains his vision for X. It's why he doesn't see it as just another social media site. For him, it's a critical tool for building that collective consciousness we were just talking about. His argument is pretty straightforward. For humanity to really think on a planetary scale, we need something like a central nervous system, a sort of global town square where ideas and information can be shared and understood by, well, pretty much everyone. Now, to make that happen, he believed a massive shift in philosophy was needed from the platform he bought. From his perspective, the old Twitter was kind of amplifying a very specific worldview, one that was very San Francisco-centric. His goal for X, on the other hand, is to be a balanced platform that just follows the laws in whatever country it's in without, putting a thumb on the scale one way or the other. So he's fundamentally re-engineering the platform. He's adding all these features specifically designed to improve how information flows across the entire human collective. Take something like automatic translation. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. It's what helps connect different language groups and makes that collective consciousness a truly global thing. Okay, so you see how this is all building up, right? It's all leading towards his most radical prediction of all, the complete and total transformation of work and, really, society as we know it. The way Musk sees it, our current idea of work, the 9-to-5, the 5-day week, it isn't some permanent fixture of life. It's just a temporary phase in our history. I mean, think about it. We went from constantly working just to survive to having a more structured work week. He believes the next logical step is a world where work just isn't a necessity anymore. And get this, he's not talking about some distant future, centuries from now. He's confident this is going to happen within most of our lifetimes. He's basically said, hey, you can play the tape back in 20 years and see if I was wrong, but he is absolutely standing by that prediction. So this isn't just about jobs disappearing. It's about entering a state of being that's so different, he compares it to a black hole. We literally can't see what's on the other side. What he's describing is a future of complete and total abundance, a world where if you can think of something you want, you can have it, just like that. Okay, so if you thought that was wild, this whole line of thinking about consciousness and technology, well, it leads him to an even more mind-bending conclusion, this time about the very nature of reality itself. He uses a pretty simple logical argument to make his case that it's actually highly probable we're living inside a simulation. I mean, just look at video games. In about 50 years, we went from Pong, literally 2 rectangles and a dot, to these insane, photorealistic, immersive worlds. So if that trend continues, it's pretty clear that simulations will eventually become completely indistinguishable from reality. And if that's true, then what are the odds, statistically speaking, that we are in the one true base reality? Pretty small, right?
But then he adds this really fascinating twist. Think about it from a sort of Darwinian perspective. What happens to boring simulations? They get shut down, right? We stop playing games that aren't interesting. So the very fact that our world is so interesting, well, that suggests it's designed to keep going, which means the most interesting outcome is probably the most likely one.
Okay, so we've talked about collective consciousness, the end of work, living in a simulation. It's a lot. But if this is his grand vision, what does it actually mean for us? How does any of this translate into practical advice for people who want to, build things today?
Well, his advice kind of reframes the whole idea of entrepreneurship. It's not about this big quest for money. It's about making a contribution to the collective. It's all about creating value.
The ultimate takeaway is pretty simple, actually. Don't chase money. Instead, focus on creating useful products and services. If you really succeed at adding value for people, the money will just naturally follow. So in this whole framework, building a business is just another way to expand consciousness because you're solving problems for the human collective.
So, at the end of the day, Musk's blueprint isn't really just about technology. It's a call to action. It's a whole new way of looking at the world that really challenges us to think bigger than just profits and quarterly reports. And it leaves every single one of us with a final, really important question to think about.